Welcome to Social World. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell to get updated each time we post. All book written by former prosecutor Mark Pomerantz will be published at midnight on the case the Manhattan District Attorney's Office had against former President Donald Trump and their refusal to press charges. New York Times reporter Suzanne Craig told MSNBC's Nicolle Wallace that it appears that DA Alvin Bragg hasn't moved on the false appraisals issue, which Pomerantz highlighted on 60 Minutes Sunday, despite former attorney Michael Cohen's alarm about the hush money payments to Stormy Daniels. Craig seemed perplexed as to why that wouldn't be taken more seriously. "I'm not seeing it," she elaborated, "and I kind of keep waiting, but we haven't seen them move on the issue of appraisals, submitting false information to financial institutions in order to get a loan. We've heard Mark Pomerantz go quite strongly in that direction thus far. I can't wait to read the book to find out what else might be inside. He has been concentrating on that. He thought the case was pretty much a done deal, and then the Attorney General of New York brought a civil case that was very similar to the appraisals case that Mark Pomerantz wanted to bring. However, Alvin Bragg has decided to proceed with the hush money portion of the deal, and he has yet to move on the appraisals." According to what Pomerantz told 60 Minutes, Trump would first inquire about his required net worth before devising a strategy for collecting it. Cohen testified that he was present in the room when Trump informed Allen Weisselberg, Trump's former bookkeeper, who is currently incarcerated at Rikers Island. For decades, Craig, his Times colleague David Fahrenthold, and the biographers Tim O'Brien and David K. Johnston have been among the two major reporters who have been following the Trump finances and raising the alarm. Craig is of the opinion that all of that information may be sufficient to put Weisselberg under enough pressure to cooperate, particularly now that he is in Rikers. "You should keep an eye on Allen Weisselberg. You don't know how that's going to affect him daily in terms of whether he will decide he is going to cooperate in a part of an investigation in order to get himself out of that situation that he's in," Craig stated. "He is in Rikers right now. And I believe that's just such a deeply personal choice that he will eventually make. He might not see it for a long time, but eventually he will say enough is enough. And Alvin Bragg is counting on that." She noted that she was pleased to see that the appraisal valuations were once again in the news because it is a topic that she and others have been discussing since at least 2018. They fell down a rabbit hole of financial madness because of a story about what Trump got from his father when he died. It was all about appraisals, and this family has been making good use of appraisals for decades, said Craig. They go big when they need to make a donation to a charity for their tax return. They go high when they need a bank. They also go low whenever there is something that involves land entering an estate. We have also observed it repeatedly. She also said that Trump would probably say that he relied on advice from outside advisors, but that's not always a good defense. It is a factor that will be used. Because of this, I paid close attention to Pomerantz's notes in the 60 Minutes interview when he mentioned areas that Donald Trump had personally signed. They are attempting to directly connect it to him. In addition, there is a third factor that we learned about while reporting some of this. Prosecutors will point out that Donald Trump is a retail man, even if he relied on expert advice. You can see this play out in a courtroom. He ought to be aware of the prices. He ought to be familiar with the market. And I believe that will work against him in court.